What's going on, y'all? Another week, another geek. We're back at it with another episode of the Wild Geek Show with your homies AJ and ChrisyLite. This is episode 185. And what a better way to start by just asking Chris, do we need another John Wick, bro?
Apparently, we need 10 of them. We need 10 of them.
At this point, bro, we need a prequel.
Yeah, complete saga. 3 sets.
It's too good. It's too good, bro. It's too good. But Chris, how you feeling today, Brody?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Man, is that heat getting to me? It's crazy how it's been so rainy.
Yeah.
Especially in our state, it's just crazy.
On the weekends.
And all of a sudden, it's like no rain, 90 degrees. So today, I was doing my walk and I ain't gonna lie, I was sweating. So I gotta start rolling down the window too, because jumping in that car with the windows rolled up, it was too hot. But I'm doing good, G. How you been?
My legs are destroyed,
bro. Okay.
Monday, hit legs. Tuesday, 5 miles. Ooh. Plus a ruck in between. Wednesday, cut the grass. Done. Done. Legs is done, bro. Retired. But other than that, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I feel rejuvenated. Because even though that sun is hot, it be feeling good when it feels good though. On my skin.
1 minute.
Yeah, then it's oh.
Yeah.
But enough with the pleasantries, bro. Let's jump straight into this thing. It's not just called Ballerina, bro. From the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Didn't know that until I looked up the cast just now, but first things first, bro, we gotta get the address the elephant in the room, which I don't think is an elephant necessarily. It was just like, oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. The recasting of Eve from John Wick, I think it was 3, right? They had to remake the scene because Eve was initially somebody else, and now it's Ana de Armas. Yeah. Like when he first went to the ballerina, not the ballerinas, but what do they call? I'm gonna mess the name up. The Russian people with the director. When he first went to go get his pass, so that he can go and do what he needed to do. And he walked all up in the thing. We seen the girl twirling around or whatever, and then she was asking him a question. So they redid that scene for Ballerina, but it's a whole different person.
Oh, dang.
And I was like, dang. Because I was like, I don't remember Ana de Armas being in that joint. Like,
yeah, I didn't know that was moment. Like a moment. I don't even remember that.
Yeah. Like,
that's cool.
In the movie, in this movie, they expound on that moment. But in that movie, it was more like, I heard they call you the Baba Yaga type thing. Yeah. And it was just like lore building type of thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like if you didn't see this part, it's not like
it's like a cool little nugget to look back and say oh, that's supposed to be the same scene. Cool.
Yeah, it's not like retconning with Iron Man, where I think it was Iron Man 3. Might have been. I don't remember. Where the scientist was there the whole time. He was the one getting chewed out by Obadiah Stane, and then he became the bad guy for the 3rd movie, and he's like, I was there the whole time. It wasn't like that. But it was enough of a moment that it was like, oh yeah, this world is freaking dope. So I figured we start off with that, just in case people didn't know, because I was like, that is actually pretty cool. Sucks that the person got.
I gotta do the recap then. I gotta rewatch all the John Wicks now.
Yeah, I wonder why. I mean, maybe it's just a bigger name to be the star of a movie, but I was just like, dang. I forgot. I don't know the name of the lady, the actress. Not like she did bad, but it's just like
she's salty.
It's the business. It's the
Yeah.
business, you know. But let's just start off with just like first impressions of the movie,
Mhm.
bro. Did it kind of meet expectations as far as like how it opened and stuff like that? Did you feel like you was in the John Wick movie? Like what's the dealio?
Mm, pretty tough question because definitely when it opened up, it was a little slower.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know if it felt like a John Wick movie, but it felt more in line of like a John Wick 1 type movie
Mm-hmm.
where it was almost as if we were getting into the universe slowly and introducing all over again and training and stuff like that. I feel like my memory of John Wick 2, 3, and 4, all of them definitely start up faster.
Yeah.
And kind of like when I mean start up, like when we get into the real story and
Mm-hmm.
here we're going this location, we're learning about this. Here's a cool little thing. It happened a lot faster compared to this movie where, we got a new character, so we gotta go through the lore, we gotta go through the vengeance, we gotta go through like the pre-vengeance of this training. How strong are you? Are you even that great?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so going
Love a
into
good
it,
training arc.
yeah, going into it, I kind of was wondering, is it gonna be a standalone movie or is it gonna be like a series type movie? And as soon as it started up slow, my brain kind of went like, okay, I'm feeling like they're trying to go for a series. And
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think I was like hating on it going into it. I just deep down knew like those later John Wick movies are pretty top tier,
Yeah.
so I don't know what they would have to do, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to get to that level in this movie at least. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, how'd you feel about going into it?
I was locked as soon as I saw him open up that cabinet under the was it the sink? I don't know. He was in the bathroom though. Opened up that joint and it was full of smoke grenades, bro. I was like, oh yeah, these people different, bro. We finna lock in. Cause
Wow.
he had a million smoke bombs, bro. And when I say he, I'm talking about Eve's dad.
Yeah, the dad.
And like once I started seeing the tats and then seeing like the different weapons that people were specializing in, I was like, okay, hatchets, okay, not necessarily the same, but hatchet gang, we've seen that before, um, but not necessarily like knowing where it's leading. So as far as like
And they had you from
expectations,
opening.
I was just ready for the chaos, bro. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Not to say like had me like, oh, this is gonna be an amazing movie. Like there's definitely moments in this joint where I was like, I don't know how long we can keep doing this before we get to the resolution. I have my critiques for that later on, but as far as like I like you're saying like the difference between being a one-off movie and being a series, I felt like I appreciated the setup more so than maybe somebody that was just like, all right, another John Wick movie. I need action immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like for me, as long as we eventually got there, I was cool. But like as far as like frame one, scene one, act one, whatever you want to call it, I wasn't necessarily like, you know, put in the dumps because we never got like a crazy scene immediately. But like once we got there, it was like, okay, now we locked in. You know what I'm saying? Like they had to really set up the title of the movie to me first, so we got a clear understanding of like, all right, what is the significance of the ballerina? You know what I'm
Yeah, and I
saying?
feel I kind of feel like if they would have gone for uh it to be a one-off, then in my opinion, I would have liked the beginning to be like a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little bit quicker pace. Let's get into it. Let's get into like this one off and be like, yo, that was a cool little spin-off to like the main John Wick type movies.
Yeah.
But from the beginning, as soon as I saw like how slow it was, how uh kind of they did the thing where it's like, this is a pretty cool character. We're not gonna give every single thing possible um about the family and stuff like that.
I mean, she's a
I was like,
kid too,
okay,
so it's like at that point, what's she really finna do?
yeah.
Blow somebody's
But
head
then
off?
it's
That's
kind
what
of
she do.
like,
It's like,
You set it up for
Oh, set it up for more is what Chris was going to say, but we got to wait for him to come back from the depths of the internet
StreamYard.
because that joint just crashed. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah,
Discord.
yeah. You could just set it up for like way more,
Mhm.
and as long as there is more coming, then it's kind of like, okay, I'm cool with it being like a slow beginning. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
stuff like that, you got to give it more time compared to more one-off movies where it's like, all right, if you're a one-off movie, let's get into it. Let's get into what John Wick universe does, action, action, action,
Mhm.
and let's see how crazy it gets.
Yeah. Um, did you watch the trailer before seeing the movie?
I saw one
I
time.
saw a movie
I
trailer like while I was in the movies, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go see that." So I never watched like the full
okay.
trailer going
Yeah,
into it.
another
I
one
was just
came out
curious.
like last week or so, and I didn't get to see that.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it revealed even more beforehand. But I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, yeah, I'll be able to see it. Like I'll go see it,
Hmm.
and hopefully it leads to more.
Yeah. For me, it was more so like the movie to trailer ratio. I wasn't that tuned into the trailer, so it was like, I'm sure there'll be plenty for us to see. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't necessarily too worried about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, as far as like that first act, I think establishing like her father being like somewhat you know, like wanting the best for her, but also like establishing like she also has a sister and her mother's not there,
Mm.
had me like interested. I'm like, okay, what is this family dynamic really? You
Yeah.
know? And then you include his tattoos with the people that was attacking him was not the Russians. So it's
Mm.
like he didn't leave that family. He must have joined somebody else. So I think for me, that mystery of like trying to figure out like not necessarily who these people are, but like when is her sister gonna come into play was like one of the main drivers for me initially as far as like what interested me most outside of just like because I think like the action scenes are just like blanket like we all want to see that, but it's like
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
far as like what was determining to me how good the story actually was that dynamic. And if you ask me, I think as far as like the reveal was like okay, that makes sense. Like by the time we got there I was like, oh, you know, her sister being this person, being the person that's like, dang, she just keep letting her go. You know, like yeah, plenty of times that she could have um, killed Eve, and she never did. Not knowing that she didn't know, but it's like once they found out, it was like a moment where I was like, dang, like I wish that moment was not necessarily longer, but I wish they could have done more with it. But for it to be like one of the first things we hear, it's like, dang, you look so much like your sister. I was just kind of looking for her sister the whole time. So the
Yeah.
reason,
I thought it was just kind of a little lame, a little like
mm-hmm,
um, just trying to be like, oh, and it's a sister reveal. Like
yeah,
I was just like, okay, and where does this lead us? And even at the end of the movie, it was one of my like questions, like,
mm-hmm,
is it was that really important overall? Like maybe in a future thing they can elaborate on more stuff with that, but
yeah,
not really. It kind of feels like maybe they had a different story going on with it, and it was gonna be a bigger impact, but they just wanted to tie up a small little loose hole, like, oh yeah, and this is their sister, but it
yeah,
didn't hit at all for me, and I didn't really think it worked that well, but it
right,
was something. I mean,
yeah. But like, reason why I brought that up was because like I was wondering for you, what was the thing that carried you throughout the movie, as far as like the thing that you were paying the most attention to? Was it like something like that, or was it more so like is John Wick going to be in it? Like what were you kind of
um,
like looking forward to seeing?
To be honest, it was just the action. I wanted
Okay.
just to see if they could top anything from the previous John Wick movies. Like,
Mhm.
how far could a side character take, like, the action,
Yeah.
especially when you're comparing it to John Wick.
Mhm.
The the Baba Yaga, how do you say it? Baba Yaga?
Yeah. That's right.
Uh,
Boogeyman.
himself. Yeah. So, that was, like, the main thing. I
Mhm.
really loved that transition scene when she hopped in the car and then drove down that.
And it's just like, ooh, and it like pans up, and then dang, she get blasted. Yeah, that scene was freaking crazy, bro. Oh man, Chris, are you gone? Where is he at? I tried to carry it. Is he back? I needed to say something. He's back.
Yeah, I'm back. That's
Go
crazy.
ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, but I really like the car driving down the alleyway scene,
Right after the
transitioning, and then
iceberg
another
lounge.
car. Yeah, and then a car came and hit him and pinned them,
hmm
and it was just like straight up out of nowhere. Pa 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 pa. I was like, "Yo, this transition was so unexpected."
Yeah.
That scene was so cool.
Yeah.
Um, and they do have a few scenes in this movie that are just really, really awesome,
hmm
and kind of makes it more memorable compared to like more spin-off type movies.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I really love that scene.
Yeah. I think the scene that takes the cake was the flamethrower battle. I've never
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
that
I think that's
before.
very iconic,
Yeah.
and will be iconic for this movie.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of how it ended, but everything up until that point, I was like, yo, they really are going crazy. There was one part where in no other world does she not get clipped um by some of that fire because they're like it literally like whoosh like the animation went like kind of like through her head like she wasn't bent down enough to say she dodged it, but we know she dodged it. And I'm just like, and this man was holding that joint up to his face like it's not a
Mm,
million degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm.
no protection, no nothing. So
There
I
there
just thought
is
that
quite a
scene
lot of
was
stuff in this
you
where you
gotta
do
let it
have
go.
to, like, suspend
Yeah,
disbelief,
yeah.
but it does make for some entertaining scenes, I'm not gonna.
hmm Like the immersion in itself was like it kind of broke when not only when it was the flamethrower scenes, but also some of the grenade scenes where she was just like launching grenades everywhere. And it's like it's funny because like kind of they didn't say this, but it's like a connection that I made was that like her father seemed to have an affinity for explosives, and so does she. You
Mhm.
know, and like just from that beginning scene, and I kind of thought like initially like there was gonna be some deeper relation from John Wick to the ballerina, just because her dad looks so much like the ballerina. I
Mhm.
mean, not the ballerina, like John Wick.
To John Wick, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did that ever cross your mind whenever you was
Yeah,
watching it?
immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately,
Okay.
I was like, I mean, that would be a cool rope in, but,
Like maybe
they
he's the
decided
uncle.
not to. But yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like, in the beginning, they kinda do place a lot of, like, chess pieces that, a second movie can really go in that type of direction if they wanted to. The sister part, I kinda feel like they wrapped it up as if they didn't wanna explore it.
Yeah.
Um,
Like it wasn't
but
as
the
important.
yeah, but they're still like, what did the mom do? Is the mom still alive? Because movies
hmm
do that all the time where it's like, "Oh, yeah, they're
Yeah.
dead. You
Yeah.
did this," and then all of a sudden it's like, "No, the mom's alive." Like,
She's on
so
this island.
yeah, and plotting something else or,
Yeah.
stuff like that happens all the time, so,
hmm
um, and that grenade scene, like you talked about, bro, 10 out of 10, like,
Yeah.
amazing. I laughed multiple.
Yeah. Like the even like when she pinned dude behind the door. I was like, where did his body go? Like that Joe was just not there, and she just used that as cover after that. I was like, yo, this is nuts. This should not even be happening right now.
Wild. It was
Yeah.
nuts. It was it was 10 out of 10 crazy. I laughed. I was laughing like, "Yo, these kills are crazy. These are, Mortal Kombat-esque kills."
Right. And then every explosion, she had the perfect uh, you know,
Yeah.
What do you
Cover.
call it? Cover, yeah. Or I think the table for me was like, nah, bro. How do you know
Yeah.
this is like? Why would this be in here? You know what I'm
Like her
saying?
ears didn't hurt at all or nothing. Like, bro, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. What did you
And those
think?
explosions were serious. Like they weren't no like
Yeah,
baby grenades.
yeah. It was really blowing up, and it was shrapnel everywhere. I think that's
Yeah.
for me where it was like kind of the difference between, um, John Wick and Ballerina is that like John Wick has the suit, so there's a little bit of like more, I don't know what you want to call it, like massaging as far as like what we'll believe is possible from him than with her, just because she don't got that same technology. She ain't been in the game long enough. She's really getting her feet wet. And um like some of the like shrapnel scenes, some of the times she's just getting, you know, like she got cut with a hatchet, but it only went through her jacket. Like
Mm.
little things like that where I'm just like, man, pain tolerance is mega high. And they explored that early on during the training arc as well with another ballerina that was just like, why do you push yourself so hard? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like I want to be ready, you know? I wanted to ask you, like, do you think this one thing was a setup that I remember was the final test before she actually got into field work, which was like basically you had to look in the mirror. Like, what did you think about that moment right?
To be honest, when I saw that, I was just wondering, is that like a foreshadowing event of they're gonna put her against uh like a like
Anybody?
it's not John Wick, but maybe another character, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna come out on top, like a younger
Mm-hmm.
version, and then she pulls a trigger and kills a younger one. Uh, or it was that just a metaphor for like, you know, no matter what, they're always gonna keep testing you. You're never like outside of this game
Mm-hmm.
of
John Wick said the front door is open,
yeah.
but is it
And
really?
but yeah, but is it really? Because he even
Yeah.
him said he said himself like I'm trying. It's
Yeah.
like it kind of feels like the same thing. Like I'm you in 10 years or whatever the person said.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it just feels like she's gonna be doing it again, to someone else this time.
Yeah. I thought that was like a very pivotal moment because she had to really just show that she's like she's ruthless. It
Yeah,
don't even matter. And then like she literally waited till the girl got her stuff together. We don't know like what she been through, if she been tortured, what she did to get herself in this situation. Like all those things was going through my head. I'm like, yo, how did she get here? Wow, they putting the gun together and stuff like that. And I was just like, yo, there's no way that this is normal, like the normal test. Because how do you always have somebody ready when somebody else is ready? You know? And
yeah.
I
I kind
wonder,
of actually view it as it is someone. It is after you've passed everything, and they just keep on pestering you, and it's like
that
almost like
transfer
always
portal is
testing your
nuts.
loyalty. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay. How about like the difference between the chancellor and the director as like the
The
big bosses
director.
of their, separate organizations that are also connected at the hip? They had a little back and forth throughout the movie. What are some of your thoughts on them?
I mean, I think it's kind of weak.
Okay.
Um, and trying to piece. I might be confused. Trying to piece how I believe it's the director is more involved in John Wick, right?
Yeah.
How they're still in leagues with John Wick coming off of John Wick 3, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's where this would have to take place.
Yep.
Um,
After he gets his pass done.
after he gets his pass done. Yeah, I'll have to rewatch the movies. But
Mm-hmm.
like, because I thought he was a wanted man after 3.
Yeah. But it's like contract is a contract as well though, you know? Like just
Yeah,
at just
but
like at the
weren't all
end.
the agents after him at that point? So they wouldn't be
Yes,
working with them, but they sent them on this mission.
but it sent like so. The way I picture it is like the same way that the first one ended. I mean, not the first one. The this movie ended when she got her bounty put on blast, where it's like, all right, now that she's wanted for like $5 million, everybody gets that text message, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
But would they work
instead,
with her?
so
They wouldn't, right?
it's hard to say because it's like, do you work with her to get like? Because I'm sure there's like bigger bounties out there than hers, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That's just
And
the weird part. I thought John Wick didn't have a bounty for on their side. You know what I mean? Only until he became like the wanted man. And that's
uh,
why I was confused. Like I'm trying to understand the director's
but she
like
didn't put in,
position.
yeah, but she didn't put in. It wasn't like an official request through the Continental. It was like family to family type of situation where it's like there's no need because if if
Like,
they
hey, I'm gonna call my guy in.
yeah, like it was more so like I need this done. It's the only person I know that can actually do it, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
versus
So
it
so
being
so,
like
so that's why I said like I'm just bringing it back to like the question. Like I kind of felt like it
mhm,
was a little weak on both their ends because it was like to me they used both of them as a means to like try to get John Wick into play. Like who can
into the
really
movie.
call in? Yeah, who can really
Yeah.
call on John Wick? And I feel like the timeline doesn't fit, but it's kind of a John Wick movie anyway, where a lot of other stuff doesn't fit.
Yeah. But it's
So
like John Wick never had beef with them either though. Cause that was his original family. So
yeah, but it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna come through and assist with the job to kill this person, and then it's
mhm.
like, actually, I'm not.
Like I think he's just an independent contractor at this point. Because all the people that's
Yeah, it's
like
just such a side mission. You feel me? Like, especially coming off of the third John Wick movie, it just
mhm,
feels like such a random side job to just be doing. Like, I don't know. That's kind of how I felt like, and when the
mhm.
director and the chancellor are kind of like going like, oh, like they're gonna start a war. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like, I kind of just feel like that this is just to rile them up to get like a bigger figure in, which is John Wick. Um,
Okay.
because overall, I feel like their actual impact, it's just kind of like, oh, we're big bosses, you know,
Right.
we're big deals.
Well, to me, the Chancellor was the more like he was like the more prominent one that was like shown throughout the movie, but he was the more disappointing character to
For
me
sure.
compared to the director because it just seemed like from the beginning all he wanted to do was talk. Like he wasn't really about that action outside of like offering ultimatums and making threats. You know,
Yeah.
like all of his clout that we have seen has come from just word of mouth of like how, you know, this family or this
Like you don't
tribe,
mess with them. Yeah.
yeah, is like they're untouchable. They don't, you know, play by the same rules everybody else plays by. Like they're just menaces. And then, you know, we get to see like what their actual township is like, and then you know they bring up like because like that's why I think like the movie gets murky is towards the end where you know Eve has like what 30 or so minutes left to kill the
Yeah.
chancellor. They
They did
did
the
it
John Wick
again.
thing.
They did it again, bro. I don't know why they keep adding time periods to this thing, but um she only has a certain amount of time to find them. She doesn't know where she's at. This is the first time she's been there. So it's like, how do we bring these two characters together? And I think the most telling thing was like when he said, in all the years of, you know, this tribe being around, the leader I forgot whatever the name is, or the chancellor has never left his post,
Mhm.
essentially, like with a threat to um like basically his life. Like we
Mhm.
don't do this. And they were like he had a dog there and everything, like he's about to do something. And it's like, you know what? nah, John Wick's out here too. We gotta go. Like, and then
Yeah.
he dipped off, and it's like, okay, this is how these two ends are going to meet. Because if that doesn't happen, there's no way she gets there in time. You know, so like that's where I feel like it's weak because it makes the story worse if there's not like a scenario where it's like instead of them meeting in a random building in the the town, why don't they meet in his main office to where it's like she knows exactly where she needs to get to, whether it's like the highest point in the town or this random castle that she has to fight through to get up to
Yeah.
that point. But like if they had given us more of like a structure, like say for instance like having like a landmark like in John Wick 4, like them stairs, you know, like then to me it would have been a better like ending or like a better scenario that was a little bit more believable in the sense of like once you get outside of like, oh, this just looks cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And to piggyback on what you're saying, yeah, he definitely is not as intimidating as they made him seem in the first scene.
Yeah.
And as it goes on, they kind of try to distance themselves from like the rest of them, saying like, "Yo, we're trying to build like a civilized like people and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like
This is a
that." But then,
place for people like you to actually
yeah,
have a life
to
and stuff
actually
like
have a
that.
life. So I get the switch up that they're trying to portray, but then
Mm-hmm.
once it's kind of like we're gonna kill everyone and we're gonna show you that full might, I didn't see it. You know,
Yeah.
it did not seem impenetrable, and I get
Mm-hmm.
it. We have John Wick, and Eve there's so
Yeah.
they going crazy and not missing a headshot all game long.
Yeah.
But
All game.
it's just yeah. I mean, she
uh,
was gliding with the flamethrower, but
yeah.
all I'm saying is like it. They did have those scenes with the dog and stuff like that. It just didn't seem like, oh yeah, they really have this place on lock, and that's
Yeah.
why they're so feared
Got
or
an
something
eye in
like
the
that.
sky, can't find nobody. You know?
Yeah. Oh, we lost John Wick, of course. Like, of course,
Yeah.
he's just
He's that
all
sneaky,
black
bro.
suit right next next in the tower.
Yep.
And I also agree with the whole meetup. I had a problem when at the very end of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
there he's in the car with the little girl. He's
Mm-hmm.
saying like, "Oh, make this left" and stuff like that. And they pretty much roll up to right where
Yeah.
Eve's at.
Yeah.
Like it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
Where we know in actuality, when you live in a town like that and you're pretty much the king of the whole town,
You have an
you would have
escape route.
back streets. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just it was just so ridiculous that they pulled it. And then he walked out and it was like, "All right.
Mm-hmm.
We're done
What
here."
are we doing? Like he just gave up, bro.
Yeah.
He just turned his controller off. That's what he did. And we never even got to see if like he was actually her grandfather. Like that's implied, but
Yeah.
it's like,
It's just
are
kinda
you
like that's the
everybody's
extra.
grandfather? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
or is it that type of situation? Like, you know? So,
It's just like extra stuff that I definitely think they'll expand on more. And that's why it
mhm,
kinda gave me more of John Wick 1 type feelings where they didn't wanna do like blanket generic where it's like, yeah, we definitely don't know if they wanna do more. This one feels like, hey, we
yeah.
you kinda already know some of her lore. You kinda already see that she's wanted. Now we can kinda go in any direction and, kinda directors give us some fresh ideas how we can expand this.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, last thing before we just dive into uh Eve's or Ana de Armas's actual performance was the addition of David Pine or Norman Reedus, bruh, from Walking Dead. Super surprised to me. I was like, "What are you doing here?" I didn't see the posters or anything, so he was on the poster, but
Was he? I
on
didn't
the
notice.
on that not on like the movie theater posters, but like when you look up the movie, he's on the big poster, like the IMAX
Gotcha.
posters and stuff like that. I was like, "What the heck are you doing here?" You know, but he
Getting that
threw
money.
a wrench into the story. How did you feel about like just the not necessarily like his role, but the like the added like addition of like her kind of seeing herself in the little girl and that guy being her dad. And she's like, I should help them. Like, was that like, I don't want to say was it
It,
good, but was it necessary? But like, it's just like that
yeah,
was like a whole
it's a
portion of the
tough one.
movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a tough one because it's somewhere in the middle. Like, is it good?
Hmm.
Is it? Do we need it?
The scenes weren't bad,
Um,
but
yeah,
like,
it's not like it's bad. It's just
mhm,
kind of like, I kind
maybe
of
some
like
more
more
star power.
payoffs if we're gonna do stuff like this.
Yeah.
You know, are we gonna bring him back in 2 and he's gonna be a major force in 2, you know?
Yeah.
So it's more like to be determined, but for this movie, it was fine. It was just
Hmm.
kind of like uh almost like a dead end.
Yeah.
Like, it was exciting to see him. It was exciting to see what else could happen. And
Hmm.
it was just used as, hey, I'm back at the last scene. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
Yeah. But it's like, I think hopefully for me, like best case scenario, it'll be more like a common situation where it's like they bring them back and it's like, all right, now I owe you one, and now my
Yeah,
debt is
exactly.
paid, type of
Yeah.
scenario. Because it does feel like, I don't want to call it a cash grab, but like he was only there for like 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, and
You
he
know what I'm
had pretty
saying?
cool scenes.
Yeah. It's like whenever uh Deadpool was looking for the X-Men, and then that door opens and they all in the same room, and it was all being
Yeah.
quiet because they didn't want to get pulled into whatever Deadpool had going on. Okay, I just figured I'd bring him up just because like I'm just looking at the cast list right now. I'm just like, bruh, they had a whole lot of people in this movie. Um, Lance Reddick was in this movie too,
Mhm.
and I was like, yo, how did he get in here? Like, you know, like they really. I wanted to know how far in advance did they make this movie? You know,
See, he passed away last year?
it was like
2 years?
right when John Wick 4 is about to come out. But
That
like,
might be 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't long ago. Like, it wasn't like, it's
Um,
not unbelievable that he's in the movie, but that was one of the things where I was like, if they go to the Intercontinental, like, I wonder if he's gonna be there, and he was there. Oh, like, look, yo,
yeah, it just made me think like, "Dang, how much time has passed?" 'Cause
yeah,
we know these movies do take some time to make nowadays.
and there's
Especially,
pushbacks.
yeah, there's pushbacks, there's, like, the actor sit-ins and stuff like that that
Hmm.
delay it another year.
Yeah,
So, I thought it was cool. I just
yeah,
hope they
that's
don't do
all I'm
the
saying.
CGI thing, in the
Yeah,
future. Because it is such a small role, and it would be cool to keep them going and going and going, but,
I mean, but the Continental blowing up now, so
yeah, 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 but, like, in case they always,
hmm.
I don't want them to get in the habit of, we kinda talked about it a little bit, like, the
Oh,
little
with the
CGI and,
yeah, when we was talking about
um
Rogue Rogue One and Andor.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because it's just, like, it's a nice, cool, small role to put him back in it, but he probably definitely filmed that, right? Like, you don't think that was
yeah,
CGI.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't
So
think so.
so
Especially if he
it's
knew.
cool.
So
Yeah.
you know,
I
I would
just
hope.
looked really hard to see, like, wait, is
Yeah,
she still there, or is this like
like
a
like a off cut scene where it's
Yeah.
like face
Yeah,
with the same
they're getting
building.
pretty good, but
Yeah.
it looked legit to me, so,
Well, who
but
can
yeah,
tell at this point?
shout
You
outs.
know. Yeah. All right. Let's deep dive into this character, bro. First off, I just want to talk about the fights, man. How are you feeling about her fighting style? Her just like, hand to hand combat, guns, whatever you want to call it. Like, what did you think, bro?
Uh,
Jeez.
clearly weaker, right? Clearly weaker.
Mhm.
Some of the times where she's getting beat up,
Yeah.
something didn't look right to me. Like, I'm like, is this like the acting? What's going on? Like, the way she was flailing, I wasn't rocking with.
I think it was the noises.
Maybe, maybe, but
Like all the noises was kind of the same. Like all the grunts
yeah,
and stuff like that, like the sound effects.
it's just overall, I think it's fine. Like, I think the fighting style is fine. Um, of course, she has the auto aim.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
I think they're in a
also
good
not brand new, but like just getting started.
yeah. And I think they're in a good lane where it just kind of feels like, um, did they notch it up to like an 11? No,
Hmm.
but I definitely think as she gets into it, they can crank it up. And it is super gory. They have some crazy, crazy kills in this.
Yeah. Okay.
Do
For
you
me,
like the fighting style or
I mean, yeah, I like the fact that there was like during her training, like you could see how much grit she had and how bad she wanted to be good at everything. And then once it came down to the point where it's like, dang, like seem like no matter what I do, like it's just like the dude is just too big or whatever. Like it's just a
a
guy.
couple of times I thought they had her. I'm like, yo, what
Yeah,
the heck? She's still getting up? There's no way.
yeah. So like when Sharon Duncan Brewster, like I said, her character was like, well, then fight like a girl, and that changed her whole like mojo. I was like, all right, now we getting somewhere. Now we getting somewhere because now this is where we can get a little bit more creative because like
Yeah,
you compare her to like characters like Yelena and uh
Black Widow,
Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's character, with her name is been so
Natasha
long.
Romanoff.
Natasha Romanoff. Oh my gosh, I gotta rewatch Avengers, bro.
I
Like,
I definitely got that vibe just watching it. I'm like, I kind of
yeah,
feel like the Black Widow effect right now. I'm not gonna lie,
it's the
but
flips, bro. It's the flips, and it's like a certain way that they have to fight where it's like, um, it's comical, but it's also like, dang, she going crazy, but it's also like, how is she still standing up? You
yeah,
know,
I think that was
like
that was just me. I'm like, dang, some of these
stamina is
throws and
nuts. How is she doing this in heels?
mm,
That's another thing. Like when she was in the Iceberg Lounge, like I was like, yo, how is she fighting like this, bro? She going crazy. And I think for me, um, the main thing I was looking for was just like a little bit of that, like not necessarily like exactly like John Wick, but finding different ways to beat similar enemies in like a given scenario and like have that feel different at each stage. Because to me, like John Wick movies are all about the stages, the locations, and then like you I don't want to call them utensils, but like the weird things that John Wick can kill people with,
yeah.
essentially. Whether it's a pencil or a book or whatever, and I feel like we
Yeah, and,
started
and, and this one, we had plates.
yeah, like
That scene had me dying too. I was like, "What are
they're
we
just going
doing?"
crazy. Ah, like it was going nuts. And whether it was like hand to hand combat or if it was just like, pedestrians walking down the street. And it's just like, oh, everybody got a blick. Everybody ready to go.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? When she pulled it up, Lil Cuz was
yeah,
like, bow, bow. I was like, yo, what kind of city are we in right now?
yeah.
So like for me, I liked it a lot.
Okay, that's
I
good.
think she added her own sauce to it. Now, with more practice, she'd probably be able be able to do more things. Like I wasn't expecting her to bring out no nunchucks frame one, to just show like mastery over different
Yeah,
things because she just
we
getting
get some
started.
Kill Bill next.
You know what I'm
A full
saying?
on katana going crazy again.
Yeah, I mean she
You know.
had the sword for a little bit. She was going
Yeah, but it was
crazy.
like a little bit. Like
Yeah,
I was like,
I
we
think
could have
the
had a whole scene, bro. Like her
yeah, I think
going
the
crazy,
flamethrower was
crazy.
enough though. I think the
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
explosions and like just like all the different scenarios. And I think the pacing of the fights was really good once we actually got into it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, I think for me, the most surprising fight was in the gunshot with Frank. Because I'm like, dang, she can't catch a break. Like they're literally everywhere. Like they're saying, like the lore wise, like you can't escape these youngins. And I was just more so like, I can't believe like they still coming after seeing all that she's done, bruh. You know, like she's not instant Baba Yaga status, but like, you know, top 3. At least that's what it said on the board, I think.
Oh, yeah, well, at least now.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. You know, what about the John Wick actual fight though between her?
Man. I mean, I was gonna bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
The John Wick fight is such a I don't want to say it again, but I got to like a video game.
Yeah, it's a treat,
It
bro.
was like, yeah, he done rolled up in there, and it's like as soon as he showed up, we know we're not winning this fight.
Mm-hmm.
We know actually because of the movies, but
Yeah,
uh, it was just hilarious. It's like a hidden boss
it's
entrance.
like Darth Vader, bro. It felt like Darth
Yeah,
Vader.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the fight was cool. And especially have seen majority of the movie to that point already.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really feel like this character was able to take on John Wick, which
Yeah.
was probably everyone's opinion going into it, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But some fan service, and John Wick is just he's unstoppable, bro. This guy
Yeah.
can't be beat. Like,
And they had different
man.
kind of fighting styles too. They was in there doing judo and like that's the only one I know. Like they was wrestling and they was fighting and they was trying
and
to
I
shoot.
like it's kind of like oh yeah, like that's the goat right there, and it's like finally you get to meet the goat in person, and you go one-on-one real quick, and you're like, dang,
like she was
they
actually
really
hurt.
nice.
She was actually really hurt. It was like, dang, now they said you after me. Like, are you serious?
And didn't he punch her right in that area? She like just like cauterized, like
maybe it was.
I feel like it was like early, and I was like, yo, he cheating already. Like he know you injured, or he could tell. He's like, all right, let me give you a punch right there. But it was cool. It just reminded me so much of like a really difficult boss in a video game, and you go to him before the actual end of the game, and it's like, oh, this is a super difficult boss, or a boss that you can't beat. But how'd you feel about the fight? Did you did you rock with John Wick being in the movie towards the end?
I knew it was coming. I knew they wasn't going to just show us a little bit of John Wick in the little prequel of like her origin story and not bring him back for the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially because of what timeline this movie takes place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it'll be a difficult sell to just not have him.
He would have been mad. They'd have been mad.
Like, but I feel like it was still tasteful enough to where it wasn't like when we was watching Captain America Brave New World and we were just sitting there waiting for Thunderbolt Ross to go full Red Hulk the whole movie. You know what I'm saying? It was more so like I feel like his entrance was cool. Like I didn't think too hard about her calling him up and be like, yo, we need you to handle this. And him just be like, all right. I think it's more interesting how fast he got there. You know, than anything else. But like that's movie magic, you know. And then after that though, I really can't ask for nothing more because I think, you know, just as much as we wanted to see more from the world of John Wick, I'm sure he does too. And I think as far as like their fight specifically, I just appreciated the fact that like not only did they show us that he was way better her still, but it was like, yo, just go, just leave. He was like, I don't want to have to do this. I'll do it though, but I don't want to have to do it. You know, and he like I think for me, the only thing I didn't like was him blowing up cause his flamethrower to help her. I didn't like that.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I think it's cool the fact that he could have do it.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the fact that he had to help her because it's like I would have rather it be a situation where literally water beats fire and she just floods him out, but even though like that water should be like tossing her around from that fire hydrant. You know, you need more than one person usually to make sure it's not going crazy, but that joint was perfect, you know. And like I knew that she was going to need some type of, you know, plot armor to finish that fight, but Other
It's
than
just
that,
such
I
cool
don't have no
scenes, though.
complaints. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
it
very
just has
cool.
a lot of cool scenes,
Yeah,
and
even
at
like when
least
she
John Wick.
first, even like when she first was like used the flamethrower, and like the bad guys was coming through the tunnel,
Yeah,
and it was mega dark, and they just heard the thing. They was like, oh dang, and they got
bro.
lit up, bro.
Like that part, I was like, okay, that's tough. I was
Hmm.
like, I'm gonna give it to them.
Yeah,
This tough. They starting to give her more tools of like, all right,
yeah,
she bad.
hmm,
But what got me like geeking out was like within 3 minutes of that scene being so tough,
yeah,
the other dude, they show the dude come down with like a pistol or that they send him over
hmm,
or and then he pulled out the flamethrower too. I was like, yo, wait a minute. The director literally just said, yo, let's just make this cool. Keep
yeah.
making it cool, y'all. And
That's what I like about John Wick movies. It's like they don't spare no expense to like they
exactly.
rather it look cool than it makes sense all the time.
Yeah, cool. Have a fun time and enjoy some awesome action scenes. Still some good camera angles and all.
Hmm.
Um, and Keanu Reeves delivering like 10 lines every time
Yeah.
he's on screen, making millions.
Hmm. I just wish Chancellor had some better words to say. Like as a
Yeah,
final
yeah.
monologue in his final moments, I was like, bruh, he's just a dum dum.
Yeah, I
Like,
just think overall, like her story and the backstory was pretty solid.
mhm,
Um, but then the overall like cult and conclusion on that side I thought was pretty weak.
yeah,
I thought the consequences or the them going after her was kind of weak too. Um, and like I said, there was just a
I think it was
feeling
more
of
convenient than weak to me,
yeah, yeah.
but I
And
get what you're
I
saying.
just feel like they're shoehorning in John Wick because they have to.
Yeah.
And did feel like he's such a big character. He's the franchise, and you
Hmm.
can definitely feel pretty much when he arrives,
The
like how
aura.
much the main character can get sidetracked. But is it a bad thing? Probably not. Because I do think this should do decent enough to get another movie.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think the actress did really good.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of action scenes, and they can still make John Wick type movies.
Yeah. I have no complaints when it comes to that at all. I think with like as far as like looking into the future, if they do like one on the hunter as well, I think that'd be awesome. Or the daughter from the last movie as well. Uh damn, I forgot her name. But yeah, I know who I'm talking about. And if they just keep that going, if like we get like a new one from each one every couple years and then they intersect and it's like really the world from the world of John Wick, I'm like, yo, they got some. They got some, but it's like, are they going to do that? You know? Who knows? But they won
Yeah,
for one right now to me. They won for one.
and I don't know if they're really aiming for like this expansion to really be like, oh, we're really gonna make it branch out like a lot
Yeah,
because they
not
could just go for like
MCU.
another movie.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
MCU wise, but I'm just saying like they can really do whatever they want with it, essentially. Because the
Yeah.
world is by itself is just it feeds itself. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
Like it
exactly.
just feeds itself every single time. So I think it's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna be dope. But you got anything else on the ballerina before we get into scores?
Mm, what was your favorite action scene?
Flamethrower.
Flamethrower. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Mine's definitely the grenades. I think. I just thought it was just
yeah,
shocking to see. I was
yeah.
like, yo,
I
yo,
was just
she's
more like,
surviving all these.
I was like, there's no way.
Yeah,
Because I think that was like too far for me as far
yeah.
as like how small a space it was, and like I think it was like they saved it when she fell through the floor,
Mm.
And because I'm like, yo, they in this rinky dink old
Yeah.
building.
Old building.
How else did the whole building not come down? All these explosions.
Like I said, the
You
dude
know?
done disappeared behind the door, but then,
Yeah.
you know, the shrapnel and after effects are just,
Going
not
everywhere.
there.
Yeah. Yep. I
But
think it's I just love seeing like hidden entrances too. Like they just make
okay.
everything look cool. You know? She didn't even get a shot. Like I thought we was really finna get into it like the old John Wick movies. You know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
was about to have an official Taylor visit at some point. You know?
And
Yeah.
they be randomly, they pulled up a lot in this movie. Like a car just
Oh
vroom.
yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
'Cause every second she went somewhere and a car just pulled up. I was like, oh my.
Yeah.
How they find you every second.
I think it's like when the parents started coming out of the buildings with their kids and then putting the kids back in there and then she come out with a knife just ready to go crazy. Like
Yeah.
I think that was more wild to me.
Yeah.
And like the diner scenario where it's like everybody's just chill, everybody leaves, and then next thing you know, they just go put the kid away. And it's like, all right, now we back, we live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like unbelievable.
It's
Unbelievable.
it's funny.
But what are you giving from the world of John Wick Ballerina out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a 7. I did
Mm,
enjoy myself. I do like it. It's pretty tough for me to rank based on like the John Wick movies.
true.
Um, but
I'm not factoring that in.
it kind of feels like it's more along the lines of the first one, and I kind of wish the storyline was a little bit better. But I do think the flamethrower and grenade scenes were very memorable, and I do think
Yeah.
the actress did a really good job. I kind of don't like the way she gets when she gets hit and stuff. It's like it
Something
doesn't
about
hurt that much. Yeah,
it.
like dang, I don't think you're getting back up, and then she got back up. But
Yeah.
I think she'll get better in the future, and I definitely think uh they will make more of these. I don't think it's I think anyone who watches this and enjoys John Wick will like this one. Like
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna watch this and be like, oh, they're
They
she's
should
a
have never
Mary
made it.
Sue, or yeah, they should have never made it. All that.
Mary Sue.
What do they call?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I never heard that before.
Oh, kind of like Ray from Star Wars. Like they could do
Okay.
everything,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's John Wick all over in woman
yeah.
form.
Yeah. Hmm.
I just feel like all that conversation definitely won't arise from this movie.
Hmm.
And I think this one's gonna be an enjoyable one. So I'm gonna give it a 7. Um, I would have given it an 8 if like the sister storyline and like the bad guy,
Had more punch to it.
yeah, just had more punch throughout the movie. Especially
Hmm.
like you said, the sister, they could have done something with that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
So it just kind of felt like an origin story, and then we throw in John Wick,
Hmm.
and then we let's wrap it up. Like,
Yeah.
hey y'all, we're gonna make more spinoffs. So I give it a 7 out of 10. How you feeling about this one, G?
I'll give it an 8. I really liked it when I was watching it, and even when I'm sitting back thinking about it again, I still like really enjoy watching the movie. I think it only loses like 2 points for me just because like some of the same things that you said with the chancellor and some of the story aspects of it that like you know could possibly play a bigger factor later on. But it's like once her kind of story was set in stone of like, all right, this is what we finna go do. It was more so like, all right, how is it going to end? And like that ending was like, dang, that was weak. Like that was
Oh,
that was kind of weak. I was not a fan of how that ended, but I still enjoyed the movie. Like I would go see it again, and I would recommend people to go see it. So that's why I give it an 8. Like I don't really factor in the John Wick movies too much when I'm like giving it a official score because it's like John Wick's in it, but it's a kind of like a separate entity because like I feel like the John Wick story is like all those movies combined, versus like we just now getting to see what she finna do, and it wasn't like I'm not gonna say he didn't have a mega impact in the movie because it's like made it better, you know what I'm saying, obviously, but not to the point where it's like, oh, if John Wick wasn't in this movie, it'd have been a bad movie, you know. So that's why I feel like they're right in that nice little sweet spot. But yeah, let us know what y'all think in the comment sections below about Ballerina and what scores you give it. And
I will say, it's a pretty good start to a summer blockbuster type movie. I think these types of movies, it's like a perfect time to release that.
Yeah.
Where you want an action movie start the summer, boom, you got one.
Facts. What you geeked about, bro?
Ah, man. We just started it.
Yeah.
But Ginny in
Oh,
Georgia
you
is
done
back
stole
on
my
Netflix.
answer. You done stole my answer, bro.
It's back on Netflix. So
Guilty pleasure, bro.
Yeah, a nice little guilty pleasure show. We started on episode 1, and quite a lot of stuff was popping off in episode. A lot of angst and feelings.
Oh my, bro! I never seen people so sad, bro. Like ever. Like I felt bad watching that. I'm like, yo, they're down tremendously right now. Like everybody, like
they're definitely starting down by 30.
The wells behind, like the darkness behind the eyes, bro. I'm like, yo, all y'all are going crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, my bad.
No, I'm just excited to watch the series. And like you said, like a guilty pleasure show that's back on Netflix. It's gonna be super fun exploring it. And man, I
finals? No finals? Not excited?
So I'm gonna bring up the finals.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Because a small rant on the radio to work, they was talking that good stuff about how they are so intrigued about these finals. And I'm just like, y'all some liars. Y'all some radio heads that just always wanna
got the script, bro.
Yeah, like a script.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just trying to be honest. I do not care. But at the end of this finals, it's gonna be nice to see who's the champion. It could be the start of the next
era.
Like Golden State or next era of all-time great teams, all-time great players. And that's okay for me not to be excited for it year one. Like I don't really have any affinity to none of these teams. I don't really have any affinity to these players either. So I feel like a lot of people are in that same space where maybe this finals doesn't really like spark the interest, but maybe let's say the Pacers go back. I feel like that'll spark a lot more, or the Thunder go back.
Yeah.
That's where we start getting the juices flowing. Like sometimes that first ring is just what you need just to get the narratives going. Stop trying to make the narratives right now.
Yeah.
Why the ratings are low. And I'd be like, oh, well, I'm interested, or I'm a basketball purist. It's like, bro, it's okay. It's the Pacers versus OKC.
Right.
We'll see what happens later.
W take. Okay.
How do you feel about the series? Are you
I have not watched.
Are you watching?
I have not watched. I'm gonna keep it a fuck. I have not watched it. I watched like the highlights of each game. Pretty much. I think it was exciting to see what's name hit another game winner. But like you're saying, like I don't have like there's no stakes right now for me. The stakes are being built. I think the conference finals was more interesting than the finals. Just because it's like a couple of those teams been fighting back to back years.
Yeah. There's like no pressure in this one.
Yeah, because everybody is a fresh new champion. You know what I'm saying?
And a fresh new champion, and they're pretty young. Like there's a high chance that both of these teams might make it back in a few years. So it's just kind of like, I really feel like you're trying to sell me on the finals.
It's not no disrespect. It's just like
I don't view it as
it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I just find the takes hilarious where it's just like, oh, I'm so interested. I'm like,
yeah.
All right,
we are watching a masterpiece at work. Like you guys don't see it, and I'm like, nah.
And like, last thing, they be saying stuff on like SGA is one of the best players. They don't say he's the best. He wins MVP. They don't say he's the best. They don't say they always have these like sly comments where they kind of protect themselves so they don't hurt like LeBron and Luka's feelings or Tatum's feelings. So it really makes the finals feel really funny because it's like you can't say like, "Oh, it's the greatest shooter ever," and stuff like.
Yeah, it's the best player in NBA right now. Like if it was Jokic in there, they would have said
it. Yeah. He's the best. They are very cautious with their terms, so it also gives a weird, funny feeling. But yeah, that's really all I'm geeked about on my little rant. But what you geeked about, G?
All right, since you stole my guilty pleasure answer, I'm gonna go with this one. I'm super geeked about Love Island. It's like, no, I'm playing. I'm super geeked about Bet, bro. You actually put me on to this show. And I'm geeked because like the show has me not on edge, but it's like it's so much I don't like and there's so much that I like at the same time. You know? And I'm just like, yo, this is a crazy show. Like, like they'll do some things where I'm just like, bro, why am I watching this? And then they'll do something crazy, and then it's like the bigger overarching story. And I watched the anime. I told you this, the original anime, but this story is kind of different. And now we're going into season 2, and I'm worried because it's like there's so many things that you could just go wrong, and it can just end out very bad and it just being a bad show, you know? Yeah. But it's like concept is there. But the other thing I'm geeked about is as well as Ginny and Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I literally started that today, and One Piece is going crazy as usual. Fire Force is getting there. Like it's been there, but it's like I'm waiting for it to reach that next stage, and then other than that, bro, I don't know if I said this. I beat Star Wars Jedi Survivor. You know, on the second highest difficulty. You know what I'm saying? Going crazy. And that's it. I think that's it, bro. Kind of in limbo right now as far as like what I'm about to play next. But live stream has been fun. But as far as like what's coming out next, I still have not. Oh, wait. Prey. The Predator animated series.
Oh yeah, anime.
I really want to watch that this week. So I'm gonna get into that as well. Because people have been saying that joint going nuts. And then there's a movie coming out this year too.
Badlands,
Badlands, yeah. So like that's gonna be fire, bro. But yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. You know what I'm saying? But hope y'all enjoyed the episode. If y'all did, smash that like button down below for us. Subscribe for the channel for more. If you're enjoying the shorts, y'all going crazy on the shorts. We'll keep those coming. And yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Stay geeked. Peace.
Later, y'all.